wow. Pain is like, it's like it goes from there and then it just shoots through my body a little.
That's good.
Not
Where's it
even-
shooting to?
But it's not the same kind of pain that shoots through me. It's it's almost like a nauseousness,
Mm-hmm.
like a wave of nauseousness. Oh, that was a pain. Oh. Now it's going right down into where the pain is in my leg. It was surfaced before.
You know, it's in the area where you feel it.
Yeah.
Just think.
Back on the surface.
It's going over.
Good. The devils are leaving you.
Mm-hmm.
How long does that last?
Totally depends if it's a chronic pain, if it's acute. The quality of the pain is totally different. Sometimes it radiates, sometimes it stays locally. Totally different.
It's probably best if you do treat it in the beginning once a day yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and then soon after, like 2 or 3 weeks, you will not be able to provoke it anymore, and then it's gone.
I don't
Can
feel
anyone buy
It's
that?
gone.
Good, you're through.
Okay. Now we
Yes, now let's see what you got on.
Can anyone buy one of those?
Yes, we are trying to find people that do
Gotta
the
hook you back
distribution
up.
here in the United States, because we bought them directly from Korea, and we wanted to sell them in Germany, and then they told us we can't because there's somebody having the rights to sell them in Germany. Okay, so then we asked about the States, and they said also we can't sell it in the States because there is somebody that has the rights to sell it in the
Yeah, we just
States.
have to sell under them.
They got the entire.
Somebody.
So we can buy them from Korea, but we can't sell them anywhere.
Yeah, we have the exclusivity for Italy on them. But that
So we
was a
reserved
freak show.
one country, like Italy, to...
Would they tell you who's selling it in the country?
Yeah, they probably would.
They
just have
would
to
if we
ask.
would ask.
And then we could just sell under them. That's, just what you gotta do.
Or we can just give you guys the address or whatever.
Yeah. I'm wondering if it would be like I have a lot of damage to the left side.
Yes. Oh,
Broken arm.
yes.
Broken,
Every damage will result in a blockage of energy flow.
right.
And with that, you can de-block energy flow.
What about like using on scars?
Scars,
Yeah.
wonderful.
I like cesarean scars.
Yes, yes.
And
You could probably work your whole body with that. It's just that they are not as cheap as they look like. Yeah.
Right.
They look like regular pens with some magnets in there, but they sell for over $600 in Germany.
But they're really effective, and they
And,
don't wear out.
The price we buy them for is around $200. Okay, so it's not. It's again not something that you can just,
What was that, the
What
bladder at one
But we
point?
could buy it from
Oh.
Korea also.
See, on larger chest and
Or maybe Neil
Actually, the
could
film.
be a
the
chiropractor.
stomach
Why not?
small intestine.
Yes.
and
If you find the
assimilate
people that got it
organ.
here and find out what
Well,
they sell it
basically,
for,
from
you
here
can
on,
find out
everything
quickly if it's worth it for you to even go down there.
Hey Joe, from
Yeah,
here
because
to
to ship
here,
it from
you went
Korea,
small intestine, bladder,
it is
kidney,
expensive.
pericardium,
Right.
Yeah.
hormones. Well, wait, hey, look at this. Joe did
Yes.
all the torture.
Yes, he did.
Well,
Yes.
that
You
was
need to
hurting.
feel it, Joe.
Go to the
Is there
pyramid,
more?
please.
Yep.
Yes. Okay.
You know, everybody does well after this thing. Everybody we've tested so far.
Yes,
Well, you know,
this helps the body, the energy that you get through the meditation board and so forth, to move it. Because sometimes if you have blockages, the body cannot move it past the blockage.
yes.
Still feel the pain.
Yeah, yeah. It's not
Say,
all
it
gone with...
doesn't all go yet.
No, no, no.
What would be ideal is if you just, also if you do yourself, it's not as painful as when somebody else does.
Yes.
Because
And
you
you
trust yourself.
can also then treat
Yeah.
from behind.
Yeah.
Go around them. This is some reaction, but
One larger chest and didn't move.
otherwise it's relatively stable.
Okay, let's try the Turkish. The nail
Turkish
comes
style?
outside the thumb.
Yes.
First we're going to do the left side,
Well,
which is here. And it's
The
outside
Turkish spa is
If you
addressing
go
basically
around
anything
from
that would have to
here
do with the
to-
skin, but
and-
besides
yeah,
that,
exactly.
because
It's
of
like on
the
the
fact
diagram
that it
over
does
here,
such a deep
where those 2
cleansing,
points
that it
are-
actually is
the two
absorbed
lines are
eventually
like
into the
that
body and
for the
becomes a systemic
You just put
effect.
it down.
So in other words, when you're soaking in it, therapeutically, you're working with the
That's it.
skin being the
I,
biggest
sometimes
organ.
I
Okay,
just,
just to,
yes,
It's cleansing in a systemic way just by doing that.
Mhm.
Then it actually gets absorbed into the body, and it doesn't have to go through the liver, it doesn't have to go through any other major
Very
organs.
good,
So it
exactly.
does a cleansing in a different way.
Mhm.
What we
And
found
then
with people is
you
that
move over
when
to
you
the other
don't
side,
use it,
so
it's
now
going to do
you're-
whatever you
Okay,
need.
the other hand.
In other
Okay,
words,
the
if
other
you need to
hand.
relax,
Mhm.
that's the effect that you can get after,
Super.
soaking
You
in
only
the
have to
spa
press forward.
water.
So
Or
think
if it's
it's
energy that
okay.
you're
Well,
getting,
you
that's
really
what you're
take
going
it
to have.
down. Look here. You move over
It's
to
terrific
here.
for the skin itself and the fact of your skin is
Exactly.
softer.
You're
I live in
the same on the other
Chicago.
hand.
We have a lot of problems, especially in the winter, with becoming very dehydrated, even if you drink a lot, and the skin getting really
Okay,
dry.
now you move into the
And
finger.
it's
thumb
unbelievable.
side?
I mean, I've had that chronic problem for years, and my skin is much
Super.
softer using it.
Mhm.
Not always. It's gonna
Ironically, I
change
had a
soon.
doctor who tried it,
Depends on which
and she
meridian.
wanted to experiment with it a little bit.
Okay, now you're
And
gonna
she
be on
said
the
that whenever she washes her
side.
hair, she always has to
of
use
the
a
right
cream
finger.
rinse, because even after she washes it, her hair feels
Right.
tangled, so
Mhm.
she uses cream rinse. So she said she tried
Super.
not using the cream rinse, but trying what would happen if after she had taken the bath, she took that water, the spa water, and used that as a rinse on her hair. And she said her hair was silky. So
Exactly.
her explanation was is what it was doing was pulling out all these deposits that were in the hair that didn't
The
belong
outside of
there.
pinky.
Mhm.
From the water that she'd used, the regular water that would be like the city water and so forth. And when it did that, she didn't need the cream rinse because
Great,
it just
that was
took
it.
all of
Now
that
you do your
substance that
feet,
was in there
but you can
and
do it. You straighten your
encapsulated.
feet
In
out
her
to make
in her
everything
terminology,
down.
instead of
You can
encapsulation,
put
she
her
said
feet over your
surround,
thighs.
but it surrounded it and moved it
Yep.
out.
Mhm.
So that example that she used as an
Always
experiment
start
on her
with
hair
which
is
is here,
basically
which is
telling
my
us
right,
what's
which is
happening with
left.
her body. In
Exactly.
other words, the pollution and so forth that's on the skin, it's able to grab it and move it.
No.
Mhm.
So I thought that was an excellent example when she told me about it.
How would you use that in a hot tub?
There you go. Great.
I've actually
I can
not
always
used it
stay on this
specifically in a
side.
hot tub, but I would
Also the
presume it'd be
outside,
the
exactly.
same principle.
You know what?
In other
Because that
words,
way
you
you
would
put it
probably
off the
start on
meridian.
the
What you
basis
do is
before they put the
you go
water
on the
into it,
pad,
just like we do in a
go
regular
back to
tub.
this way.
You put the concentrate
Just
in
go like
first,
that,
which
and then you
usually
can do it.
approximately an
You should
ounce,
do it
half an ounce
exactly.
in the empty tub. You put in 2 gallons of spring water, mix it up,
Super.
and then you
But
put your warm
the
water
reading was
on.
basically the
So
same,
in a
so you're
hot
okay
tub,
anyway.
I would presume it'd be the same principle.
And then you can just add
Exactly.
spring water and some more turkey spa to keep it rejuvenated.
Yes. In other words, just taking a container, putting a little bit of the concentrate in first, adding the spring water, mixing it up, and then putting it back in. If it's in a regular tub, obviously you'd let some of the water down, and then you can take that water in containers and put it on your plants, indoor plants, outdoor plants,
Right.
they
It's
love
the
it.
third toe.
You could mist your plants with it.
And spray it.
Yeah, so in other words, you'd be recycling it. In fact, I had a lady, she put it in her washing
You're
machine.
doing great.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she would have put it in with her clothes, and it was the same effect. She said her clothes got cleaner. Yeah.
Using what?
Spa water.
Spa water from after the
we're
bath.
done.
Bathe in it, put it in the fridge.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
it was just another way of recycling the water.
Wow.
Super.
Yeah. So and the other thing you can do too is that, I mean, obviously we'd all love to take the luxury of having the bath, relaxing in it, which is the best benefit.
Outside.
But if you've got someone who can't do that, they can take a small amount of the concentrate, mix it with spring water, put it in a sprayer bottle, keep it in the bathroom.
Okay.
They spray
And
before
now
they
you're
take
done,
the
and now
shower,
what
and
we
then
write
they
is,
spray
this is
after
just
they
empty.
take the
Do
shower.
you have the phone in your hand?
So in other words, you're kind of
Okay.
prepping the skin to begin with before you get in there, and then
Fourth.
afterwards like a final rinse with the same philosophy
Yeah,
the
so
doctor was
last
talking
pH.
to me about with the hair scenario where it's
Mhm,
grabbing it,
mhm.
moving things up.
You just spray yourself all over a
And
fine
then you
spray.
take the
Yes,
finger
uh-huh.
pad and
You
take
could
it
do,
up to the
well,
okay.
if you're going for the fact of taking a shower,
Okay.
you want to
There
use
we
maybe
go.
a trigger
Now
type
you've got the
spray
scale.
versus
The scale
a
doesn't
mist,
tell you
you know what I
Yes,
mean?
right.
So you're actually wetting the skin.
Right.
But if
And then you
you
can lay all the
want
scales
just
on
to
top of
work
it.
with the energy
Right.
that's around you, then put it in a mister
There you
bottle.
go.
Like it's great when you're out
Great, so the
and you're out
last
in
one you
public
did was the
and there's
fourth.
just,
You'll
so
see
much
what
that's going
happens
on
here.
around you,
Compared
take
to
the
the
little
blue
mister
one,
and
which is
mist
the one
around
I
you.
do right
Mhm.
Same
now.
philosophy for
You
misting
go
plants,
up
the
here,
same
the
concept.
meridian.
Yeah.
But if you're actually doing it in the
Right,
shower
right,
concept, then you want to wet the skin,
stomach,
so they get a spray
pancreas,
bottle that's like a
heart,
trigger
small
one.
chest,
Right,
left,
right.
right.
Good, good.
And you can, if you get 100% pure oils, and you're taking a bath, you can put a couple drops in there and then get the aromatherapy at the same time. But you always want to make sure that they're 100% pure oils, because otherwise if they're synthetic,
overall
then what's going to
average of
happen
your reading
is
compared
the
to mine
water,
before to see what happens
the spa
if you
water
look
is
at
going
the
to
next
correct
one,
that,
right
and then you're
there.
going to lose that effectiveness of
And then we have the
aromatherapy.
overall. She
If they're
dropped
pure oils,
height is an average of all
there's
the
no
meridians.
synthetics in them,
Now if you want to do
then
the
you're
next
going to actually
reading,
get the aromatherapy, and then it's a really good combination.
Can you mix this water with the aromatherapy oils?
Yes, the same thing for the spray. You can do that. Again, the same thing. If it's 100% pure oils, and you have to investigate into the companies a little bit because unfortunately on the labels they can say 100% pure oil, and they only can be a percentage of actual pure oil in that bottle, and that's where the label lies on that. So you really have to investigate into the company a little bit and find out, where they're coming from, how they're producing it, and
Press
so
release.
forth.
But the water actually can mix with the oil?
Yes.
If it makes the right
Yeah.
sound,
It's a very good blend. It actually kind of expands the. If you've worked with aromatherapy before, and say you were used to using, like, say, 8 drops of a particular oil, you can find out you can use less of it and still get the same effect if you use a combination of the water. So the effectiveness is expanded. Even the fragrance is different. The usage when you use it is different.
Mm-hmm.
The combination. Also, the water can be used for, say, therapists who would be doing, say, massages, or someone who's doing acupuncture, and you could prep the skin before you go ahead and do the therapy. I had a lot of acupuncture done, and I had a particular acupuncturist work on me for a long time. And then he started doing the water, and what he would do is he would take the external water, which would be like the spa water, and he would spray my spine with it. Not a massage, just getting it into the skin, and then do the acupuncture.
Mm-hmm.
And it's much more of an effect, the combination of that.
Wow.
And if I wouldn't have had so much acupuncture, I wouldn't have been able to give you the comparison. But I've
Mhm.
had enough of it
No?
that I could definitely see the difference.
It's good as what
Hmm.
people are supposed to. Okay.
So you just get a little bit
So when
creative
are you
with
guys
it.
going to be back in
Yeah.
training?
So it's more than just a bath. It's an external spray. It's an external skin
Okay, so I was just
water.
thinking my timeframe.
It's a therapy for the skin.
It's a therapy for the skin, right?
But beyond that, in the sense that
Timeframe is
you're not
existing
just working what's
already
on the
from
surface.
our
goes-
side,
it's
because
absorbed
it
into the
works
skin.
from
Yes.
your side,
Yes.
which is
Because you always have the
um,
exchange of fluid going back and forth
6,
between the
7,
skin
8.
Mhm.
Okay.
for hydration anyway.
I'm gonna write that.
But if you've got really good water that's going to do that, then you're going to take it and you're absorbing it into the
I've
skin.
heard.
So eventually it's going to work systemically on you also. So you get a double combination. And if you're ingesting the water, you're working from the inside out. But if you can use the spa water, you're working from the outside in. So you're balancing your body as a whole system versus just working with one particular element.
Mhm. Now, is this the same water that's in the aloe
Got all the squares,
for the body?
You
It's
can reach
a
us now.
similar type of water
Once we
because the
have-
aloes have an external water in it.
But it's not exactly the
It's
same.
not exactly the same.
Okay, so it is a little different.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And
Okay.
if you leave a message
Would you
on
tell me a little bit about
our,
the
answer
animal
machine, then we will
formulas?
call you back.
Well, what happened with us is we were on the waters ourselves, and we had seen,
Don't be
quite
afraid
an
if you hear
improvement on a
German
positive
answering
note.
machine.
Things that happened with my mother, my husband, and I. And we had a horse that was very sick, and he had been diagnosed as having EPM, which is a disease where the protozoa moves out of the gut, gets into the spine, and causes neurological problems in the horses.
Mhm.
He had been treated allopathically, and as far as they were concerned, he was balanced enough with it, but it had shot his immune system. He had skin problems, hives. He would get fungus very easily on his
outbreak
skin.
reading.
Mhm.
He had a respiratory problem to the point where they call it heaving in horses, but in a person it would be compared to like a wheezing. And he would have severe respiratory distress. And so my question was, had they ever worked with animals? And so I was told that they did, and we got some of the different formulas. We created a system for him. He drank the water, we put it into his bucket of water. We sprayed him. We sprayed his food, and we would massage him with the aloe that had been treated with the water. Now all the waters for the animals are not the same as the humans. They're the same principle as how they work, but they're different because of the fact that the animals are more sensitive and you would not work with the same substances with them.
Mhm.
So gradually we started to see with him is that
So your technique
first
in
he
itself
went
is
through a
already
type
very
of
good.
detoxing in the sense that he would excrete all of this mucus